Hi guys, welcome back. So, I really have been thinking about this Mink toner ink pad and how we can make the most of it. Some of you have already pre-ordered it. You know, we always want to hope for the best. Again, we spent 25 bucks on this product. So what can we do to make it work? So I'm going to go in and change my ink pad out here. We haven't used it in a week. Okay, so here is the empty ink pad. Here is the old ink pad. I don't think this is going to come out very nicely. Yeah, it's pretty yucky. Let me see if I can get away with using it. I think it's probably going to disintegrate because that's what it started doing with the glue pad when we were using it. But here's my thought on it. If it's going to give us a distressed foiled look, let's use it to our advantage. So who is the king of distress? Well, Mr. Tim Holtz. So I have his Stampers Anonymous Nature's Wonders leaves, which are already kind of, imperfect looking, very distressed, right? So I'm going to use those. I have one mounted on a clear block here. I also pulled out the Distress Specialty stamping paper. Now, this is the first time I've used this, but this paper is coated, but it's not coated with a shiny coating. It's coated with a matte coating, but what that means is it's very smooth on top. It almost feels like Yupo paper, like kind of has that plasticky feel, but it's not shiny. It's matte on both sides. And I was thinking, well, that should help from the stickiness of the pad pulling the paper back and peeling the paper back, which is a problem I was having before. So, okay, so this ink pad is the first ink pad we used about a week ago. It's not completely dry yet. I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to continue to use this ink pad. Let me pop it back in here. What I'm going to do is put a little bit of more toner in it. So I have 5 milliliters I've poured into our little cup here. And it is soaking in pretty quickly. So I think because I put the packaging away right away, it wasn't exposed that it dried out. So I think that's why we should be okay there. Okay, so here's my thought process. If it's going to give us a distress look, let's use some distress stamps on this coated cardstock. And again, I think glossy cardstock works well with this as well. But regular paper is just too delicate. And because this is a sticky substance, this ink, it's not sticky like glue. It's just sticky. Because again, there's a polymer in there. There's a something in there that's going to dry and then melt when we want to foil it. Okay, so let's put all this stuff away over here. All right, so let's try this again. But we're going to use these distress stamps, which again are Tim Holtz, and see how they do. And in this case, all that blobbiness is actually going to kind of help our image because it's going to give us that distressed look, right? So I am going to, I should probably put a piece of scratch paper down. You know, maybe we can't get perfect foiling with this, but if we can get some foiling out of it, maybe we can make it work to our advantage. And we're always trying to look for masculine cards. I'm actually going to do a couple of these because if I'm going to use the ink up, I might as well make a couple of different backgrounds, and I will switch the stamps out. The other thing I will recommend is some kind of really good stamp cleaner. I normally just use my rag and my my microfiber rags and my cleaner. I do have this old Stampin' Up, which has these two clean areas, one to scrub wet and one to dry off. I like the bristles in there to get all of this stuff off, so I'm going to have that off to the side. So let me stamp a couple with each stamp, and then we'll switch the stamp out. And I'm just going to do around the edges, and then we can save the center of the card for other sentiments, designs. I'm still waiting for my craft foam to show up before I can try that. Now, all right, notice how there is residue on the side here. I want to be careful that that doesn't touch the back of my paper, because if I run that through my ink machine and that residue is stuck to the back of my paper, it's going to stick to my carrier sheet when we go to foil it. Okay, so stamp number 1 is done. If I can lift it up here. So you got a little black there. We're going to be careful with that. All right, so we're going to give those a second to dry off. I'm going to scrub my stamp clean. And then dry it off. I'm still going to use my rag on it. This is a super sticky ink, so you do want to clean your stamps really well. And you can see with some scrubbing, looks pretty good. All right, let's grab another stamp. I'm also going to fold this way. Actually, you could probably do 3 different colors. Oh, now Nancy's getting complicated. Oh yeah, we're gonna get complicated here. Decisions. I was just gonna do one foiling pass. Well, I guess I could cut the foil down. We could do that. All right, so let's keep going here. All right, I'm gonna grab this one, which I think to me kind of looks like a maple leaf. So I'm thinking that is an oak leaf, right? So that should be brown in color. And then this one's kind of like a maple leaf, so this would be a little more red in color. I will say it is releasing very nicely off of this paper, this Distress Specialty Stamping Paper it's called. I will try to find it online. Hopefully it is not discontinued. I'll try to find it for you guys online. Move that out of the way and bring in this. And I'm trying to just make sure I put it in that empty area there. Oh, okay, good. Stuck my finger in it. It didn't matter. I mean, this is coming out okay. Maybe changing the paper up. And now that I don't have the high expectations of it, maybe that makes a difference for me. I don't know. Do I want to do another one of this? No. All right, so now we're going to move on to stamp number 3. I just kept thinking, distress, Tim Holtz, what do I have? And I'm like, I bet those would look really pretty if I did some leaf stamps. All right, so I think, for whatever reason, I always think this one looks yellowish green. So if we do like maybe a golden color, and then a red and a brown. Oh, I want to flip this over again. See, that's already dry. I guess we could do it on this side. I didn't want it on the mat and then sticking to the back of the card, so that's why I brought the little stamping paper out. Not necessarily for cleanup, because cleanup on the glass mat is super easy. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think I need to go to a smaller stamp. These are all so big. Get a little bit of overlapping here. All right, and once we get down to stamping this one, that's good. Clean the stamp. Scrubby, scrubby. Ugh. Looks really gross. Okay. Stamps are clean. Stamp panels are done. We want to let them dry a few minutes. So while they're drying, let's cut some foil colors, right? I mean, I guess I could do a sentiment. I just want to okay, so they're actually drying fairly quickly. Let me turn my little mini mink on, and we're going to grab some foil colors and foil this. I already have some leftover foil left out that we can take advantage of. So I have some pieces of gold here, so we can use that for some. I just want to grab like a reddish color and a brown. So let me see. Grab our little mink buddy. And I'm going to turn him on to 4 because this is a little bit thicker cardstock. My foil pieces. I have my carrier sheets. So we have that heating up. Okay, grab this kind of copper color, which is called Pretty Penny, and this reddish color, is called Berry Naughty. And then we have some gold. So yeah, it's going to be fall colors, but I think that's going to look okay. So I'm just going to cut a couple pieces of these. These two colors are Creative Vision stamps. That gold foil is deco foil left over from the other day. You guys, I was supposed to have my brand new order of Creative Vision stamps was supposed to come today, and my foil, and I've been stalking the, the tracking, and I kept telling the kids all day, my package is coming, listen for the door, my package is coming, and we were literally like in the kitchen and the living room all day, so we would have heard it, and I get a text message, your package has been delivered. I go running for the door. No package. Now, this is not the first time my post office has misdelivered packages or if they've gone missing. Normally, they just go to one of the neighbors' houses. So, Leah and I walk up and down the block and we see the neighbor's house, whose house number is similar to mine. She has a package on the front porch. So, I'm ready to go to the porch and check the address, but then I see she has one of those Ring doorbells, and I don't want her to think that I'm being creepy because she has a package. So Leah plays with the little girl next door. So I sent Leah up there to knock on the door and say, my mom's looking for a package. Is this it? And she looked at it and said, no, it's not, but we'll keep our eye open. And then Leah went next door and played with the little girl next door. But I was like, man, people would think I'm a creeper if I just go on their porch and start looking at addresses on boxes. So I did file a claim with the post office. So now I guess I just desperately sit and wait. All right, I'm just cutting this into little manageable colors of pieces here. Hopefully. And I think this will work because, again, we don't have any expectations. We are looking for this kind of distressed look. You know, I have this piece of, it's like birch wood. This is also Creative Vision stamps. Yeah, so I'm a little disappointed right now. So, you know, we were jokingly calling ourselves the Foiling Snobs Club. You know, we're doing that in jest. I know it is kind of rude. Someone did comment that on there, and I said, well, maybe we should change it to the Foiling Connoisseur Club. But, you know, it's all in good fun and jest. We all want to have a good time. Like I said, my biggest concern with this product is it's quite pricey, and there is a need in the market for this product, and it fills that need. You know, it's kind of like the same thing when the Misty first came out. Everybody was like, oh, I'm not spending $60 on that. But I don't think any of us could imagine stamping now without a Misty. So to me, the Misty is a great investment for that $60. I mean, she really did come up with a good invention. Now, everything that happened afterwards and the drama and all this and that, whatever. But for this product, it's a great idea. I think the follow-through just wasn't as good as we would have liked. So that's all I'm saying about it. Okay, here's one of the things you can do to make this even cooler. You could just lay your foil on there. But I think this would look even cooler if you crinkle your foil and really give it that distressed look. Let me put this inside of a folder. Everything's pretty much dry, and you don't have to foil these right away. That's another cool thing, is you can kind of just let these sit and decide to foil them another time if you want to make use of all of your stamping. It's personal preference. And I know somebody's going to say, well, you didn't dust them, Nance. And I really don't care because, again, we're doing that distressed look. It's really not going to matter on these images. So, let's see here. I don't even know what would be gold and what would not be gold. What colors do I have? Oh, I have this copper color too. Like if you do that with your foil and crinkle it up, let's see how that's going to look. I think it's going to look cool. You got scraps laying around, you use them up. And it's okay if your foiling is the foils are overlapping each other, as long as all of the stamped toner is covered up. Okay, now I am going to kind of cut off these extra pieces because it's a kind of a tight fit as it goes through the mink. So I don't want all of that getting stuck in my mink, so I am going to cut off these little bits here. I probably could have done a better job at laying those in there, but we should be okay. All right, so to me, everything looks covered. Here we go. I am going to kind of hold that up as I feed it through so we don't lose or shift any of our foils. One thing I do not like to do with my foiling, I know some people do, is kind of tape it into place. I feel like that adhesive just kind of gets in the way, so I don't like to do that. If you lay the foil carefully, and even if it takes a couple passes to put the foil through, maybe you do one color at one time, then you do another color, it should come out okay. So while that's going to come out the other side, it's going to go through its little cool down process. I'm just going to let that sit there. I know you want to see it. Patience. I'm just as excited as you guys are. Cut that one too short. Number 2, and I'm just going to cut this little, trim this little edge here. I think we're good. And Again, always fold the feed the folded side through the mink. Not the open side. It's open on this end. We want the folded side to go through first. Okay, and then this is our last one. And for this one, I'm just going to be all in bold here. I'm going to crinkle all of these up and just put them on in random places, all on top of each other, and see what comes out. Actually, I don't have enough foil cut to do all of them. So we're just going to go all rando here. Cut a small little piece. Actually, we're going to reuse some foil here. Why not? Ooh, I'm going to reveal it over here so you guys can't see it. Nance, you're so mean. That's not going to work. Never mind. To cut a couple more pieces. We'll just cut a couple tiny pieces. This would look really good if you wanted to do the Tim Holtz flowers. He has those wild flowers with, he has the wildflowers with the brightly colored, like spring colored foils. I think that would look cool. So if you're doing something that doesn't need to be so precise and clean, I think we can get away with this. Because I know that we all desperately had high hopes, but I don't want you throwing it in the trash, having it go to waste. You know, let's try it. Let's give it a fair shot, and let's make it work with what we have, right? I mean, that is what crafting is about. No, I don't want that there. That's too much of that. Where's my gold? All right, so this one, I am being a little more, just putting, instead of being so precise, I'm being a little more random with the crinkling of the foil. There's going to be some overlapping. I'm going to cut this little piece here. Okay. All right, so while that's feeding through, let's see what we have. Okay, are you guys ready for reveal? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I can hear you better if you tap the like button. Oh, it's getting louder. It's getting a little louder. Couple more thumbs up. All right. Okay, here we go. And again, if you get any of that toner stuck on your sheets, just use some acetone to clean it up. Here we go. We got perfectly distressed stamping, foiling, stamp foiling. That came out really good. I think it was a combination of, again, using the distressed stamps, not having any expectations of it to come out clearly, beautifully perfect. And that paper makes a huge difference. Tim Holtz to the rescue. Oh, that looks awesome. That is cool. Now again, if you really want that distressed look, you can save these little bits and use them again. Now that is really cool. Leave it to Laura's Foils to make it beautiful. Creative Vision Stamps. Okay, here we crinkled up all the foil. That really doesn't seem to have mattered. It kind of straightened everything back out. Oh, that Birch foil is awesome looking. Now that says a fall card. It says a masculine card. This is cool. I'm interested to see how this, now see, we would normally complain and say, well, it didn't foil there. Guess what? It doesn't matter on this kind of stamp because it's a distressed looking stamp. You know, I was going to save this video for Friday, you guys, but I think I'm going to have to share with you guys sooner than I wanted because it's too beautiful. Okay, hold on. We're not done yet. Okay, so I want to see how this inks because it does, like I said, has that kind of smooth, slick surface. So this is some Distress ink and tea dye. Oh, excuse me. I'm using the Distress ink blending tool. Yes, this is cool. Can you hear the squeakiness? So like I said, it's kind of like glossy paper, but it's not glossy. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to buy a whole bunch of this paper now. It better not be of discontinued. I will be really mad, Tim Holtz, if you discontinued this paper. Oh, gotta be careful because the foil, I'm scratching the foil. Again, part of that distressed look, but still. Okay, now do this with some distressed flowers or some outline flowers. Oh yeah, that totally peeled my foil up. Okay, if you're going to do the inking before you foil. It peeled my foil up. But it goes with that distressed kind of look, so I'm not going to complain. It's still usable. But if you're going to do distress ink it first, then do your foiling. So be careful here. I am scratching the foil, though. The foil is getting all beat up. Well, that's cool. I'm so glad it did work. So again, the secret to success there is probably leaving this to dry a day or two so that it's less liquidy. It kind of is getting in that sludgy, sticky, syrupy stage, just where you, it's like pancake syrup. You know, when you first pour it out, it's really liquidy, but you give it a little bit and it starts to get a little heavier and stickier and it just sits out like gravy, right? So we want this to sit out a day or two. And then using the proper type of paper. This paper is really good. This is the Distress Specialty Stamping Paper, matte coated cardstock, and it's coated on both sides. And then the other thing is to use a Distress style stamp. So these were the Stampers Anonymous Tim Holtz Nature's Wonder. So I think using a combination of those three, some beautiful foils, not having the expectation of it having to be perfect, and we got some really cool distress foiled backgrounds. What do you guys think? Do we want to call this a stamping foil success? I think so. I think so. If this is what you're looking for. If you're looking for perfect foiling, no. But you can see there as the light hits, everything is foiled. And it looks really cool. This Birch foil from Creative Vision Stamps. I'll have to look up what it's called for you guys. Sandstorm, I think it's called. No. Let me grab it before I tell you the wrong thing. That is so pretty. Really cool. I mean, you can see like here when the light hits it, it didn't foil there. But again, we didn't have any expectation. We dropped all expectations when we went for this stress look. As soon as you go, I'm doing it distressed, every mistake is on purpose. But actually that looks pretty darn good. Let me tell you the names of the foils. Okay, it is birch bark. Okay, the 3 foils I used from Creative Vision Stamps, if you can still get them: birch bark, Pretty Penny, and Berry Naughty. Okay, those were the fall colors. The gold was just regular gold deco foil. You can also get gold from Creative Vision Stamps. So let me know what you think, guys. I am calling this a success. I will link everything down below for you. I'll try to find everything on Amazon or scrapbook.com. The stamping kit you can also get from Technique Junkies. So I will link it all for you. If you have any questions, post them down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, why not? Join the fun. Click the little bubble and the bell, and you'll get notifications when I post new videos. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep on stamping. Bye-bye.